Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Red with Urbanite Reflections. Have another video. I heard about this yesterday. I haven't seen this video, I saw a different one. But apparently Africans who have fled Ukraine and made their way to Poland, many of them have been detained in detention centers in Poland. This is so frustrating and ridiculous. It's unbelievable. So let's see what today's latest disgusting, inhumane event is in detail.
War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has prompted an exodus of nearly 4 million people and an outpouring of support from many of the refugees. But a new report finds some of the non-white people who fled Ukraine are being held in detention centers in Poland and Estonia. An investigation by Lighthouse Reports with The Independent, Der Spiegel, Radio France, and others documented how some African students who crossed the border to escape the war and were detained in a long-term holding facility outside Warsaw. One of the students described his ordeal to an activist. The sound is bad, so listen very carefully.
Let's turn it up there.
I'm just scared. We escaped Ukraine. It's very, very horrible experience, and it's very the most biggest risk of my life. Now we are under detention. At the beginning, I thought I was kidnapped.
The detained student says, my mental health, I'm just scared. We escaped Ukraine. It was very, very horrible experience. It was the worst week of my life. Now we're under detention. At the beginning, I thought I was kidnapped, he said. This is the brother of another student who says he was detained when he fled from Ukraine to Poland.
He stayed at the border for close to 3 days. And the last day that he left the border, he had issues with the Ukrainian police that were forcing them to go back into Ukraine to fight.
I heard that.
I think as a student he couldn't stay back because he's not a Ukrainian and he doesn't know anything about the country. So he decided, after the confrontation, the harassment from the Ukrainian police, he ran and ran and ran. They took away his bag with his laptop, with everything, but he succeeded to get into Poland. So when he got into Poland, he immediately reported himself to the police. I was pretty sure that after signing this paper, he will be given some freedom, but limited freedom within Poland. But when he finished signing the paper, the next information we got was that they were taking them into a camp.
Polish border police confirmed some 52 Ukrainians who fled to Poland, quote, were admitted to guarded centers for foreigners, unquote. The International Organization for Migration, the IOM, says non-Ukrainians who have fled the war are being detained in at least 3 facilities in Poland. For more, we're joined by Maud Julian, investigations editor at Lighthouse Reports, which just published this package of stories last week. We welcome you to Democracy Now! Can you tell us where the students were in Ukraine and how you located them in these different detention facilities from Estonia to Poland?
So the students that we're aware of, that we've been able to confirm are being held in Poland currently, there's 4 of them. And when I say confirmed, it's because we have their student identification, but we're aware of 6 credible cases, actually, and we think that there's probably a lot more.
There is.
But these students were studying in different cities in Ukraine, in Kharkiv.
There is a lot more, because I saw a video before this one yesterday, and there's dozens of them, and they've been forced to sign documents that are written in Polish that they don't understand. I mean, even the European Union issued a statement saying that everyone fleeing Ukraine, they should just be allowed to escape and then let them find their way home. Get to their embassy, their respective embassy. There's a lot more. This is so disgusting.
In Lutsk, in Kiev, they were studying telecommunications, management, languages, so in various fields. There's actually a total of over 75,000 foreign students in Ukraine. And we were able to confirm for these 4 students that I was mentioning that they're held in one long-term detention facility that's 40 minutes away, a 40-minute drive from Warsaw, the capital of Poland. Initially, what happened is that we were contacted by activists who were saying that they were in touch with foreign students claiming to be in detention. We were given the address, and I went to this detention center. I said that I was press. I gave the 4 students' names, and the guards of that detention center told me to wait. They went in, and then they came back out and told me, yeah, these 4 names are inside, and actually there are 20 other young African people who fled Ukraine who are in this camp. And then later on, we managed to obtain a letter, an official letter from.
You see, she just confirmed there's more, but there's more than 20 as well. So she did a great job of locating those people. So I applaud her. Good job, Julian.
The Polish border guard confirming that there were 52 people, third-party nationals who fled the Ukrainian conflict in detention, and that was on March 15th. They confirmed 52 people. There could be more, and we're aware of 6 people having been recently released.
This letter you obtained from Poland's border police admitting 52 third country nationals who had fled Ukraine had been taken to detention facilities in the weeks after Russia's invasion. If you can talk more about that, and you're in Dakar, Senegal now. Where are the students from around Africa? Are they from Senegal? Are they from Nigeria?
So the students that we're very much aware of, and we've also been speaking to their family members. We've spoken to several of them inside the center. They're from Cameroon and Nigeria. We don't know where the other people being held in that camp are from. What we do know, what I've heard very, very recently, is that there is also at least one African family that was held in one of the long-term detention
The whole
centers.
family.
So that family was a Nigerian man, their child, and a Kenyan woman. They've been released, as far as we know, a few days ago. But that is to say that there's reason to believe that there may be other families held in detention, in long-term detention centers. We've also been speaking to the Cameroonian and to the Nigerian embassies in Poland and in Berlin, and they're saying that they do not know why their nationals are being detained. They're working towards securing the release of their citizens, and it seems that they've been able to secure the release of 6 Nigerians so far.
Can you talk about the temporary protection directive that was invoked by the EU on March 4th? What it means, and does it apply to students of African origin?
So the temporary protection directive is historic in the sense that all of the European countries agreed for the first time in 20 years to open their borders and to protect and to grant residency, to grant also allowances to all of the Ukrainians fleeing the conflict. That temporary directive doesn't lay things out quite as clearly for third-party nationals. It recommends that EU countries should facilitate their safe passage back to their country of origin if that country is safe, and that they should provide humanitarian protection. We've been speaking to lawyers about what's been going on now, and they've been saying that it goes against EU law to detain people, because this temporary directive does say that countries should facilitate passage, should give humanitarian access, and that holding them in long-term detention facilities where they are not provided with legal help, where they've been made to sign documents that they haven't been able to understand, and either in fact these are prisons, that this is contrary to.
Did you hear what she said? I told you at the beginning, forced to sign contracts that they don't understand. These people are Africans. Maybe some speak Polish, I'm sure some do, but the vast majority, if not all of these individuals, don't. And they're not provided access to legal counsel, but they're being held in prisons. Meanwhile, in my country, we have agreed to allow 100,000 Ukrainians into the United States. I have no issue with that. But when I see stuff like this, where we've opened up our arms to help people who are fleeing, and I see stuff, and I see what's happening on United States southern border, and when I see what happens to the Haitians in a small boat that land in Florida, and they're immediately processed and sent back to Haiti, and now I see what's going on with these Africans, what do you think the problem is? What do you think the problem is? If you tell me, well, their paperwork isn't in order. So you're telling me the 4 million people who have fled Ukraine and gone over to Poland, to Hungary, to Estonia, etc., all of their paperwork is in order? It's not about paperwork. Don't even play with me. That's just foolhardy. Don't insult my intelligence. It's not about any paperwork. These same Africans, let's think about this. Their paperwork was in order to get them into Ukraine and to start a curriculum of higher learning. But all of a sudden, when war breaks out and they're made refugees and they go into these countries, these European countries, predominantly white, all of a sudden there's something wrong with the paperwork. Let's go ahead and put them in prison camps. Now, if you buy what they're saying, not this lady, but I'm talking about the governments of those countries. If you buy what they're saying about paperwork, because that's what I heard in a different video, then I have a bridge in a desert that I can sell you.
To EU law, but this temporary protection directive is not as clear when it comes to the rights of third-party nationals, and I think that's also where the issue lies, that it doesn't guarantee the same rights to these people, and it allows European countries to
discriminate,
choose who they let in, and to decide how they treat these people.
Even Austria was holding some of these students?
Austria.
Yes, so the latest information that we've been getting from the Nigerian diaspora is that in Austria, one student was detained. In Estonia, one student was detained. And there's reason to be concerned that we're going to be hearing more and more of these cases, because there's a lack of EU clarity on the
contrast between how Ukrainians are being treated. I mean, the pictures of the kindergarten children going into a school and the whole class standing up and applauding them. President Biden going to...
And my power just went out.
Have you heard, if you can comment on that, and finally, the conditions in these jails?
It's absolutely striking to all the people who have been working to help the thousands of people that have been trying to enter the EU for the past years, that have been fleeing conflicts in Syria, in Iraq, the difference in treatment. It was interesting in Poland, and striking in Poland especially, to speak with people who've been assisting refugees from the Belarus border. And near the Belarus border, it's basically a situation where you have Polish border guards that are pushing people back into the freezing Belarus forest. Just last week, there are, Syrians, Iraqis who were pushed back. We know that at least one more person died. At least 20 people have died at that border.
Wow.
So for people seeing this difference in treatment, these double standards based on where people are from, just the Ukrainian crisis.
Baby, go ahead and say this again.
Has sort of left a lot of these people, breathless. And now the fact that, people are being treated differently based on where they're from, even if they're fleeing the same exact conflict, just makes these double standards even more obvious.
Well, there you have it. 2022. Racism up front and center. That's what it is. I mean, you can say what is racism. What else would it be? What else would it be? Can you imagine how the family members of these individuals who have been detained, can you imagine how they feel? It is at best disgusting. And I apologize, guys. My power's gone out like twice. And I don't really know why. I do apologize for that. And I got things popping up on the screen that shouldn't be popping up. And probably going to get something else pop up here in a minute. But I apologize for that. But this is so ridiculous. It makes you angry. Not because I'm a black man, but because I'm a human being and I have humanity and courtesy for all. They're all, like she said, she did a great job. Her name is Maud Jillian. I've never seen this video. I've never seen her before. She said it correct. They're fleeing the same conflict, but based on where they're from, they're treated vastly different. But people say there's no racism. People just complain for no reason. Usually people who say that are the individuals who have not been treated based on the color of their skin or what they believe or on their sex. You know what I mean? So they can say that. But here's an example of on the world stage, you see racism, blatant racism. What can we do about it? What can we do about it? If you're American and you're watching this, and there are other reports of it, and you care and you want to do something, I would contact your local congressman, your representatives in the House and in the Senate, and I would put attention on this because that's what I'm doing. And I would contact the United States State Department because this is disgusting, especially when you juxtapose how Americans have been open and loving toward individuals from Bosnia. I told a story in another video how in the capacity of my job, I helped my previous job. I helped Bosnians migrate to the United States. And I met with some of them and helped them get certain benefits that they needed. In other words, I didn't help them come here, but once they got here, I was one of the individuals you would see who would try to help you sort of acclimate to the United States. And so this is ridiculous. And I can go on and on. I mean, it just makes my blood boil. And I'm also heartbroken. I can only imagine how these Africans feel. And the Syrians too. I mean, 20 of them froze out in the snow. They froze to death. I mean, that is just so ridiculous. It's just unbelievable that this will actually be going on. At the same time, you have President Zelensky of Ukraine begging the whole world for assistance, which I'm not knocking him for doing that. He should be doing that. And he's getting that assistance. But these individuals, these Africans, they're detained. Now contrast what you just heard with the attitude of Russia toward these Africans. I don't know if you've heard the stories, but Africans fleeing Ukraine, many of them crossed over into Russia trying to escape the war. Now watch this. The Russians welcomed these Africans, let them make phone calls to contact their families, sheltered them, fed them, set them up in one of their universities so they can get showers, food, and gave them a change of clothes and protected them and helped them get in touch with individuals who would be able to facilitate their transportation home. Russia did this. If you think I'm joking, Google it. Look it up on YouTube. Russia. But yet you have these Western nations who are doing what they did hundreds of years ago and even to this day continue to discriminate against people of color. I've heard for years that Eastern Europe has not been very welcoming to individuals with brown and black skin. I've heard that. I have personally never experienced it. I haven't been over there. But I've heard that for years. This is disgusting. When a person is in need, why not just help them? Okay, what is it doing? I mean, you're helping millions of other people. But these Africans, they have to be put into prison or detention centers, which basically is a prison. What is it about this skin? What is it? I don't get it. And some of these folks are the same people who say they love Jesus. They love Jesus, but you don't know how to treat individuals with decency and respect who don't look like you. Jesus did that. You might as well take that armband off that says WWJD. What would Jesus do? Because you do everything Jesus wouldn't do. You do everything Jesus wouldn't do. He wouldn't mistreat these individuals like this. He wouldn't do that. Anyway, it's just really frustrating to hear yet again, here comes the ugly head of racism against people of color. It is disgusting. It is disgusting. I can't treat a white person like this because they're white. God made them. He made me. We should all try to get along and treat each other with dignity and respect and have some love involved in that, right? Because I can promise you this. The people you kick today, they may need to reach out a hand and lift you up tomorrow. You have to be careful because in this world, you reap what you sow. I guarantee it. 100%. That is a fact. And so I'm very happy and very pleased and thankful to Democracy Now! For bringing this to us. There are other channels that have done the same, but this was a very good video. It's heartbreaking because in my mind, a person is just a person. I don't care what they look like or where they come from. Blue eyes, brown eyes, green eyes, black eyes. What difference does it make? These individuals are in need and they need help. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. But some people, they make it matter. All the while telling you there's no racism. Oh, it's the paperwork. That's what it is. It's the paperwork. Anyway. Well, thank you guys for watching Urbanite Reflections. Lately, since this war started, I've been focusing on the refugee crisis and individuals who have basically become expatriates to their home countries, to Ukraine, and those individuals who are trying to repatriate back home. And so this is the focus right now. And you may see a couple more videos about the refugee crisis coming out of Ukraine, but we're going to shift our focus. Don't worry. The whole channel is going to be about refugees and racism and that type of foolishness, which is nothing more than a disgrace. It's not going to be about that. It's not going to be about the hypocrisy of institutionalized racism. So, thank you for watching. And once again, I apologize for the power outages. Kind of beyond my control, but it hasn't happened before, not recently. So I don't know what happened with that. But anyway, I apologize. And again, thank you for watching. And we'll bring you some good content. If you guys have suggestions you know, something that I should react to or watch, go ahead and put it down in the comment section, and I'll watch it. It's just that simple. And so take care of each other, and always put God first, because he puts you first. Amen. Take care. Bye.